live on Facebook right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is for Feck's Sake Marketing Adventures. And you'll notice I don't have my logo or anything because I'm redecorating my office. But welcome, guys, where we're bringing you tips, tricks, and insights into marketing, how you can grow a business, and the people behind the business when we have some amazing guests in here like we do today, which is my amazing guest, Mellida Frost. And you'll notice with the title of today, it's more than just bookkeeping, what's going on. But I'm going to allow Mellida to introduce herself properly in just a moment. So I've known Mellida for, a few years now, and she is one of the most amazing people I know. And why bookkeeping is more than numbers is an understatement. She calls herself a bookkeeper, but she's so much more than that. She does speaking. She also has a master's degree. She does teaching. Like, a bookkeeper is, as I say, an understatement. Now, her business name is the Business Genie. And as we go through, at the end, we'll make sure that there is contact details for you in the comments below. Myself and Mellida will make sure there if you'd like to hook up with her. But in the meantime, Mellida, welcome, welcome, welcome to For Feck's Sake Marketing.
Oh, how exciting. I'm so happy to be here. And what a wonderful introduction. I'm just like, oh, I am.
You're going, oh, I want to know that person. Who is she? I do.
Yeah.
So
thank you so much for inviting me on the program. It was...
My pleasure. My pleasure. It's so amazing to have you here. Now, tell us just a little bit about who Mellida is and why she had decided to start her own business, because again, helping the audience understand who you are and some of the challenges you've been through. But where did you start? Why is Mellida even a bookkeeper in the first place?
Well, at the time, I had been through quite a few different jobs, and at that stage, I was working at the law courts and I was typing the transcripts for the court cases, being a court reporter. And then the lady who did all of the payroll and all of the bookkeeping for Spark and Canon, where I was working, she went for 6 months to Europe. And so they just put out a memo saying, is anybody interested in learning bookkeeping? And I went, oh, I'll have a go. And
I'll give it a go.
Yeah, that sounds like, I like numbers. Yeah, I'll have a go. And I just went, after a couple of weeks, I just went, oh, this is my thing. So
Wow.
the first thing I ever wanted to do is I wanted to be a vet. And then after that, I went, oh, no, I won't be a vet. I think I'll be a secretary. Not quite sure why that one came in. Then after that, I went, you know what? I'm better than a secretary. I'm going to be a lawyer. Oh, hang on. I'm really interested in journalism. I don't know. I'm just going to be a typist at a court case because I don't know what I want to do. And then it was like, ta-da, here you are, try this. And I just loved it. I love the procedures. I love the balancing. I love the things that came out afterwards. So after I worked there for a while, I worked for a variety of different organizations, always doing accounts, because that's what I was into there for that, of course. And then I got, from the last firm I was at, I got retrenched. Two businesses merged together, two of each. I was the excess microwave that needed to go. So I was a little bit depressed about that. And my friend said to me, well, you're a really good bookkeeper and admin person. Why don't you start up your own business? Oh, no, I can't do that. And then she said, but don't you know what you're doing? And I went, of course I do. I've got, at that stage, I had 6 years experience in doing all sorts of accounts and payable, receivable, or payroll, all the fun stuff. And she literally grabbed me by my ear and dragged me. So she helped me get my ABN, my Australian business number. Because she's a graphic designer, she organised me to have a wonderful logo, and she became my first client. And then she introduced me to my second client. And my second client introduced me to my fourth and fifth client, because it was the second client's accountant that introduced me to my third client.
Wow.
So, and then a year later, I'm just like, I'm just so busy. I've just got so many things. And here's me saying, oh, no, I couldn't do that. I can't do sales. Nobody will be interested in me for a bookkeeper. So thank you, Alyssa Miller from Design City. You changed my life.
Call out, shout out. Yes.
Totally.
And do you know what's amazing and what I'm hearing is that you explored forward. You didn't know what you want to do. You had what I call, well, what we all call bright shiny syndrome. It's like, I would do, oh, hang on, I want to do that. And I would have been the same, except I started waitressing and ended up being a waitress all my life. And who knew I was going to teach people how to make videos for the business? I mean, come on, what happened?
I know, amazing.
And it's the ability to explore forward is actually, for some people, everyone has different kind of personality types and different ways of doing things. But it sounded like you were like, yeah, we're not quite sure, so I'll just keep doing this. And when the aha moment came, it came.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, awesome. Also, you mentioned there about your first client had recommended your second client, and on it went. So you didn't actually have to do an awful lot of marketing for your business.
Nothing.
None at all.
And same as you, because I was doing the waitressing and the barmaiding as well. So back then we're allowed to be called barmaids. Then it wasn't like, because by having that, actually, I think that's the reason why it became so good for me, because I wasn't desperate for the work, because I already had something to tide me over. And so that's why I said my first client, because it didn't all happen in like a month, but in the space of a year, then I said, I can give up doing the bar work, which I was a bit sad about because it was heaps of fun. As you can tell, my people love us.
So again, and this is the thing that I'm so glad you brought it up, because quite often people have a shame or embarrassment about having to do the job or to do whatever to keep the money coming in while they're trying to get their dream alive. But I believe, and I've done it, as you know me, I've done it several times, back and forth and back and forth. But my philosophy is, let me take the shortest route to the money while I'm building this. So if I can, with me, hospitality is in my blood. I could do it hanging out of the light globe, scratching under my arm.
I can picture that.
Yeah, I was going to say something really rude and it wasn't appropriate for on here. But I could do it easily. So for me, if ever I wanted money, it was easy for me to get some casual, part-time or full-time, depending on what was going on in my life at the time, to get the coffers built up to keep doing the dream. But I know as a coach many years ago, I used to mentor and teach other coaches. I was embarrassed to say, actually coaching isn't my full-time gig, because I actually couldn't market my business enough to make it a full-time thing. And I had to work. But it sounds like you were going, right, well, one more client. And you were absolutely fine with that balance.
Yeah. But remember, this was also back in the late 1990s, 2000s. So it was also because I'd been used to doing so many different jobs and casual jobs and 2 or 3 days a week here and full-time here and things like that. So it was easy for me. I didn't mind that at all. And nobody needed to know, except when they walked to the pub, and there I was serving drinks. So
hey, it's a great way of networking as well, because they do walk in and, a few drinks, loose lips, sink ships, as they say. But tell me, so you did that, and, you got clients and clients and clients. And after that 12 months, then you got to a stage that you went, okay, I can give away this side gig and do this. So since then, has business always been smooth sailing for you?
Oh, Lord, no, not at all. Well, the thing is that really, like for instance, when you're first starting out in your bookkeeping, well, in my case with the bookkeeping gig, then I took everyone. So anyone who asked, I would take them. But then you'd find that people wouldn't pay you, or they wouldn't give you the receipts in order to do the BAS. And so I couldn't do my job, so I couldn't charge them. And so some of them I had to get rid of. Some of them I set them up and got all the procedures happening and everything was working beautifully. And then, which is what everybody wants, their business really hit off and just became very, very big. And then I said to them, much as I hate to say it, now is the time for you to actually employ someone to do the bookkeeping side. I'll come in and I'll mentor and I'll help them and everything like that. But it would be unfair of me to be charging you 3 days a week at the rate that I'm charging you, when you can have somebody in who's more available and all those sort of things. So then that sort of moved along. And then also, because one of the things that I got offered was working at SciTech Discovery Centre.
Right.
And it was so good. So I started off doing payroll there just for a couple of days a week. And then the assistant accountant left and they asked me to do it. And come on, it's SciTech Discovery Centre. Why wouldn't you want to work there? So I had to go to some of my clients and say, I'm really sorry. I've taken on this full-time gig with SciTech Discovery Centre. I was there for 3 years. And so I'm not going to be able to come 2 days a week to see you all. And there's only just a couple that I kept because that I could do in the evenings or on the weekends. Or Design City, can't leave them. They were the ones that dragged me
It
into
started
greatness.
you all.
Yes, so I certainly couldn't leave them. So, and it worked out really well. So working at SciTech changed my world. So Design City, Alyssa Miller changed my world. Working at SciTech for 3 years changed my world because all of a sudden it was all that higher end stuff. Now all of a sudden I'm producing management reports. Now I'm doing analysis, budgets. Oh, stop it. I've got to stop talking about this because I love it. So I was doing all of the higher end things and just learning so much. And so after I was there for about 3 years, I went, I don't want to be a bookkeeper anymore or an assistant accountant. I want to be an accountant. So I went to Curtin Uni.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do both. So assistant accountant was full-time job. So I unfortunately had to leave there. And then I went to go and I went to go and learn at Curtin University. So I enrolled for my master's. And
Masters of
about 3 or
accounting.
4 months.
Masters of accounting. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so I did the postgrad. So I was there for about 3 or 4 months. And then one of the lecturers actually approached me and says, I can see that you are, sorry, that's my phone going off now. I can see that you're going around helping people because by that stage, I had 15 years experience.
Yeah, and you're the people person. You're trying to help them all.
So the lecturer would be up there or the tutor would be up there explaining things and then we'd have time to do it ourselves. So I'd do mine and then I'd go, how are you going? Do you want some help? So they offered me work and I went, okay. So I started off just tutoring and helping out. And then next thing you know, I'm writing exams. And then next thing you know, I'm sort of like leading a small team and doing admin and things like that. And I'm just, this is the best. So I was learning about accounting, which I was interested in. I was teaching at Curtin University, which I just loved, and still running my bookkeeping business.
Wow, you've frozen. Can you still hear me?
Happened. Yeah, you froze for a bit, so I thought that I'd be the master and just keep going.
By the way, if I freeze and I get knocked off there, Mellida's going to keep going.
Oh, yes.
What I'm hearing...
It's really scary. For the first time that you stand up in front of a whole lot of students, I had about 23 students. So I walk up the front, I'm going to be teaching bookkeeping, which I know like nobody's business, and you turn around and all these people are staring at you. And I'm like standing there going, oh my God, oh my God. And then I'm at the front of a classroom, they are students, I'm the teacher, start talking. You know the curriculum, just go. And so
it's amazing. And again, what I'm hearing is that taking a leap and trusting yourself and then actually getting an outcome that you want, but you didn't know you wanted. You never knew you wanted to teach a curtain. You never knew, but you knew, hey, I'm interested in this. Let me take the next step. So there had to be at some stage, some kind of a discomfort or an unsurety or a doubt or anything before you left that full-time job to go into full-time studying. How did you manage that or navigate that?
It wasn't so much leaving the full-time job because SciTech was amazing. It was more, I had a bit of separation anxiety because when you're so used to being part of a team, especially a really fun team, it was kind of hard to go. But I've always wanted, I'm really curious. I'm always interested in things and trying to move forward and wanting to know. And because I like people so much as well, I just wanted to go out and experience other things. And luckily I have a wonderful husband, hi Fred, he's great. He cleans, he cooks, he shops, he says to me, you do what you need to do. And so I do. And it was just, I had this wonderful support. But even then, every single time that I've had to do this, you get that little bit of an uncomfortable feeling in you. And there's always a whole thing in the background. What's the worst thing that can happen? And then I think the worst thing that can happen is that I do really badly at uni. Then I think, well, that's not really, because I'm so interested in everything and I love the study. And so if you look at the worst case scenario, you can sort of like help overcome that. But I was doing the teaching. I was riddled with self-doubt for that. But I spoke to my mum and she said, look, you know, you're always doing something new and interesting. And remember when you first started at SciTech, you were going, oh, I don't know if if I'm good enough for this, but they showed you the ropes and you went, okay, that makes sense. So,
so and it's something that I quite often talk to people about. It's having that dedicated structure of learning and having a supportive environment. Now,
yes,
whether
absolutely.
that's a group of people you can tap into, or sometimes it's online in this age, you know, we have to listen to audiobooks or watch YouTube or something, but it's about having something, people around you that lift you up, like your mom, that said, you know what, remember when you started that, you didn't know what you were doing, because that's the truth. Every time we get into that discomfort, it's very much about, it's just, to me now, the discomfort says you're going to learn something new. And it's somewhere we haven't been before. That's what it is.
I think
Now,
what you need to do is you have to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And
love it. Absolutely love it. So true.
Once you can do that, you just go, oh, this is going to feel icky for a bit. And then it's just like,
it's reframing. That's what it is. Reframing what that actually means to you. That's what I mean. Like I talk to myself a lot, but let's not go there. But quite often I got to a stage and I knew I had to change this frame of what discomfort was meaning to me, because it was holding me back. So I get to a stage now when I feel really uncomfortable. I literally throw my eyes up to the air and go, okay, universe, I'm not sure what it is, but can you put it in neon lights? Because I'm obviously not seeing it right now. Or else I go, woohoo, I'm going to learn something new. So I think that's, at the end of the day, and you know and I know, we actually make everything mean whatever we make it mean. It's actually in here. The power of it is really in here. And quite often, like years ago, I didn't understand that. I just thought, what do you mean? I can't make that mean anything. Well, yes, you can. Because if you were from some tribe or some lost tribe that was out in the back of beyond, and you suddenly saw a traffic light, how would you know what to make that mean? Because you've no frame of reference for it. You wouldn't even know what a bicycle was because you'd never had one. So, you know, we say bicycle to somebody, that's a great thing. They, you know, childhood memories. To other people, they had a horrible fall off a bike or some accident. So every time they see a bike, it's trigger something else. So what's the difference? The bike isn't different.
Yep.
It's just what they're making it mean. And I think that's a very powerful thing too. I think we kind of are somewhat aware of it, but when you become really aware of it, you ask yourself, well, if making it mean this isn't serving me, what can I make it mean instead? And start from there. And it sounds like you've done that a lot. So now you mentioned a few moments ago that you went back and you did your master's in accounting. Now, I am not a numbers person. I'll put my hand up to it. I am to an extent. I get interested when it's my own numbers. But overall, to be a bookkeeper or an accountant, you could stick needles in my eyes. But I do know that a bookkeeper and accountant are two different things. So you're telling me in one thing that you're a bookkeeper, but you've a master's in accounting. So why is that? And I also know that you've written textbooks as well. So why are you still a bookkeeper?
It's funny because when I finished my master's, I finished in 2011. And for those of you who remember the global financial crisis, didn't really hit Australia till about 2010, 2011. So I had a look and went, all right, I'm now an accountant. I can go out, and you have to go and do your time, do your CPA, certified practicing accounting or chartered accounting. So you have to join a firm because you need to have the mentorship. And I sort of like had a little dabbed my toe in it. And then I went, you know, I don't think I can be bothered. And also a lot of the previous years graduates, uni graduates that had gone in for jobs now didn't have a job. So here am I with a 20 to 30 hour a week business doing bookkeeping. And I've also got all my teaching and lecturing that I have at Curtin University. And then I went, why would I change this? Why would I go and do the graduate accounting thing? And then I went, because that means that you're going to move up the ranks and you're going to become an accountant. You know, I make that sound like it's a great thing.
I love the word become an accountant.
But the thing is that then I realized that if I do that, especially listening to some of my students telling me about their experiences, because I still catch up with some of my ex-students, and you have to count everything in like 6-minute increments, and they have to do a certain amount of billable hours, and then it is that you're being paid for 7.5 days, 7.5 hours a day, but you're working about 10 or 11. And then you're studying on top of that to get your CA and CPA. And I went, oh, my hair's starting to go grey. So I think I'll just take it easy and I'll enjoy my life. I've got my bookkeeping on one side, I've got my teaching on the other side. And then also by that stage, I'd written a couple of textbooks as well that get used at various universities. And I was just in such a happy place. It was just great. And then I thought, I don't need to have a lot of discomfort anymore, because I didn't finish my degree. I'm just trying to think about how old I am. So I was in my 40s when I finished my degree. And then I went, I'd done all the young person stuff and my learnings and things, and I was really content where I was. And the thing is that even I, who love bookkeeping, I love numbers, I love analysing them, I love doing it. Bookkeeping is a little bit boring, especially when you've got lots of entries, transactions you have to put in. But that's why it's great that I can do bookkeeping for a couple of hours, and then I'll just stop, then I'll hop on to an interview with somebody as marvelous as yourself, and then I'll stop, and then I'll go to a professional development, and then I'll stop, then I'll go and do some marketing. So if I had to do bookkeeping at one place, I think that I would probably end up finding something else to do. But because, like for instance, today I'm here at a place.
You're frozen.
On the road.
Sorry, say that again. You froze again.
Oh, I was just saying that right now I am at a place that they sell line marking supplies. So when people are drawing the white lines on the road, they supply the paint and the bollards and those annoying speed bumps and everything like that. They supply that. Tomorrow I'm going to work for a builder. Yesterday I was working for a dance company. So there are all these different sorts of businesses, which makes it interesting for me. But if I had to do it at one place, I'd be a bit like,
So it sounds like now you have created.
Oh, no, you're frozen.
Oh, okay. It sounds like, so apologies people if we're freezing on you. That so different people are driven by different things, and you sound very much like a person who is driven by variety. So you like new things, that's why you're such a people person. You don't want the same all the time. So you've created yourself the perfect business for you. So you work in the bookkeeping that you love, but you don't do it all the time, as you say. Then you stop and you do whatever. So I know we put the tagline kind of there, and it's more than just bookkeeping. So what do you do that's more than just bookkeeping?
I think what I was trying to get across to people when I came up with that tagline is that you can get somebody in to do the number crunching. So they will come in, they will put in your accounts payable, receivable, input your invoices, do your bank recs or whatever. So they are number crunchers, and that is an important part of it. But Business Genie, because like you said, I've designed it to be the way that I want it to be. Because I love people, I want it to be a bit of a relationship. So I'm only interested in working with people. If you want me to come in and number crunch, I'd probably suggest get somebody else. Whereas I would love to come in and help you. So what am I going to help you with? Am I going to give you back more time? Am I going to help explain these annoying things that your accountant's saying that you don't quite get? put it in your language so you sort of understand what it is. But I find that it's a lot of giving people peace of mind, because a lot of the time they're just going, oh, I just want to do ... I want to go out and do my plumbing or do my electrical work or go out and sell line marking supplies.
Use their superpower rather than trying to struggle with the numbers. I love it.
Yeah.
So in business as a whole, so you've built this, business you love doing it. What have been some of your worst mistakes? Because I know you well enough to know, sorry, before you answer that, you're such a positive, outgoing person. You never kind of really hear Mellida go, oh, I don't know what to do. You're always out there jumping, blah, blah. And I know you've done lots of personal development. I know you've done speaker training as well. You've done so much. But I'm sure, and I'm not just searching for a darker side of Mellida, but I'm sure there have been times that you have felt, what the bloody hell am I doing this for? Or, oh my God, that's the worst mistake I could make. Give us an insight into one of or two of those.
I can't believe I'm admitting this to you. My biggest mistake was that I didn't sit down and look at my own numbers. So I know, so embarrassing.
All too common.
I'm going around looking after everybody else, but I didn't actually sit down and have a look about what was going on in my life. So next thing you know, I'm working between probably about 70 to 80 hours a week, easily. And when I'm saying working, I'm not just talking about billable hours, but I'm talking about going out doing the professional development. I was also writing the books at that stage. So I'd be getting up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd be doing all of these various things. I'd be finishing 9:30, 10:30 at night, sleeping, getting up and doing it again, including weekends. And I realized, and it's a bit of a problem because I enjoyed so much what I was doing, but I got myself in this awful hamster treadwheel. And there was a couple of times where I'm just going, what am I doing? But, my sister's kids are growing up and I hardly spend time with them. People are going away on the weekend. I'm saying, no, I can't go. No, I can't come out to dinner. No, I've got to do this. And I feel like I pretty well gave up, I'm saying probably about a decade of my life because I couldn't say no. And it's one of those things where I didn't want to let people down. So I didn't, and I at that stage, I didn't have the voice to be able to turn around and say, I really need to downsize because I can't do this. And I never wanted to bring anybody on because I thought that only I could do it. So I'm smarter now.
It's so funny you say that because I just had that conversation with somebody this morning and I said, why do so many entrepreneurs actually feel like they have to do it themselves? And we had a whole unpack of it and it was freaking amazing and it just made sense to me this morning. And it was like explained in a way of, back in the day, caveman days, we actually had to do everything ourselves. We had to find a place to live. We had to go and kill our food. We had to skin it. We had to make our own clothes, blah, blah, blah. And then as time eked out, it's like, actually killing the food, I'm not that good at. Could you kill the food and I'll just clean the house for you? Can you make clothes and I'll make food for you? And that's how it became. And then somewhere along the lines, we've lost all ability to do some of those things ourselves, but we're afraid to ask somebody else that knows how to do it for us.
Yes, absolutely.
So what would you do differently in that decade now, knowing what you know now?
I would have gotten help. I would have, instead of trying to work out how to design my own website and what I need to put on it, I would have asked somebody to help me. I would have brought on an apprentice and taught them what I needed and brought them on, because that's what I'm doing now. But if I had done that a decade ago, I would have. It's funny. My friend Anne asked me once many years ago, she said, tell me what your ideal day is. And I mentioned to her that I would be getting up and I'd go and do some exercise, water ropes, go for a walk, go for a kayak, something like that. And then I would read the newspaper while I'm having my coffee and my breakfast. And then I'd probably do about 4 to 6 hours work. And then I'd have the evening free for my husband or spend with my parents or go out with my friends or something like that. And I have actually not now, but maybe about a year ago, I have had some of those days where I've woken up going, I'm going to have my perfect day today. I've got it all planned. So a decade ago, I would have gotten help. I would have, instead of thinking, I am the Business Genie, it's now going to be Business Genie. So I'm still the person who's going to be looking at all of the accounts and doing the interaction with the client and analysing, doing all of the things that I love. But I'm going to get somebody else to do the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at most of the clever business people, that's what they do. They don't do it all themselves because they can't.
Yeah, there's no way. And then because then they can't do their genius because they're too busy doing the clunky stuff. So I've only just recently hired a virtual assistant who think is just marvelous. And so I'm really enjoying working with her. And she's saying, well, what about we do this and this? And I went, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. So bringing up all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I'd be lost without my personal assistant. So tell me what, going on from that, what are some of your actual success habits now then to ensure that you're keeping that? Although it might be, look, you might have a perfect day every day, and that's okay. To me, it's like when people say to me, what's a perfect day? It's like, oh, it changes every day because I want something different. But what are kind of some of your success? What are some of your success habits that are non-negotiables now?
I've heard success habits and that are.
Okay. What are some of your success habits that are non-negotiable now?
Get enough sleep. Make sure that I am in bed no later than 10:30. Except back in April when I was doing a lot of swing dancing. You're allowed to have parties every now and then, but on a weeknight, get enough sleep. And also make sure that I eat properly. I would love to be exercising 2 or 3 times a week because whenever you get out and exercise and move, then you have more of a chance. It's easier to sit in front of a computer and pound away. But I haven't had much success with that lately. But the not negotiables, enough sleep, eat good, nutritious food and drink water.
Yeah, absolutely. Hydration. Oh my God, it can be such a game changer, just hydration. It really has. Or maybe that's just as we're getting a bit older. So now that your business is changing and tweaking, so what do you do to market your business? Like, how do you get the word out there? Is it still word of mouth, or do you actually do some marketing for your business?
I have been doing some work with District 32. So they're a networking group, and I've received some clients through there. I find that the networking seems to work the best, but now I've also got Trixie who's looking at all of the different things that I can be doing. So I'm working towards that. I'm now getting somebody to design my website for me.
Yeah.
It was so funny. When I was having to write the content for that, who have written textbooks, who am an out there person, it was really, really hard for me. So after I finished writing the content for my website, I had to go and do some bookkeeping to soothe myself. I'm like, oh, something that's easy. So,
well, isn't it interesting? Because number one, we're writing about ourselves, and to disassociate ourselves from the product and do that sort of thing is, that's interesting. I have to soothe myself with bookkeeping. You will never hear that sentence come out of my mouth, ever.
What would you soothe yourself with, though?
People.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes I have been known just to go to a shopping centre, just to walk around the shopping centre because there's a buzz in the air. Because remember, my background being hospitality was I was always running. I was here, I was there was always a buzz going on, blah, blah, blah. So to sit and do this, and sometimes obviously there's networking events and all sorts of everything like that, was so alien to me. It was such a big transition to actually work at home, from home, and, you know, be able to go to the garden when I want, and sometimes able to go to the garden too many times when I want. It was a big transition, but my partner works away. So sometimes I'm here alone. So I'm like, it can be a distraction. But I love powerful, deep conversations. So if I can connect with somebody, I don't want to just talk to somebody for the sake of talking to somebody. I want to talk to somebody that it means something, and we have this great deep conversation and connection. So so people, or I'll invite somebody over saying, do you want to come over for a coffee?
And you're not leaving for the next 4 hours.
Yeah, sometimes. And sometimes they come over and say, I can't stay long. It's like, oh, don't.
The door is locked. Tough luck.
No, that's exactly it. But I think we have to, awareness is key, no matter what area it is. So awareness of, you know, people say strengths and weaknesses. I don't look at it like that. It's awareness of what makes you tick, and what really builds you up, and what drains your energy is key. So I know certain things drain my energy, so I'll get them done in the morning, because then I go and, in my world, play. So I'm an explorer by nature. Any profile I have, everything, I'm the explorer. I like you, the curiosity. Let me pull those legs and arms off the dolls and see what works.
I wasn't quite that bad.
No, I did it just to see how a doll would work on the inside. And then I discovered there is a big, strong elastic band between the arms here in a doll that holds them in place.
So it can...
Yeah, but you could never get it back on if you took the arms off.
Good to know.
Unless you had a crochet needle. Let me tell you.
And you know what? That's so typical of you, that you will find out, say, this is the lesson that I've learned, but now I know how to fix it.
Yeah,
so that's very typical of you.
But I didn't know that that's what I was doing as a 3 and 4 year old. I was never as a, I want to break this doll. It was like, what's inside it? How does it work? How does that come out? And why does that go that way? That is, and that's how I still am. So that's why when people talk about learning something new, there was a time like yourself when you go, oh my God, what am I doing? How can I do this? But now I'm like, well, if somebody else could do it, it means it's learnable. I know I'm teachable, so just teach me. I'll just get the right person to teach me, and I believe everything's achievable. Do I want to be a brain surgeon? No. But if I wanted to be a brain surgeon, could I go and study and be one? 1,000,000%.
Yes. Absolutely.
Would it be hard and challenging? Yeah, probably. But if I had my mind to it, and like yourself with bookkeeping, if I was interested in it, then of course I could do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's, people say, oh, you've got such a positive outlook. It's not a positive outlook. I could do an outlook.
Yes.
If somebody can, I think we all can. So now, and I know you have attended some of ours. You attended one of our retreats once. What do you feel, or from what you're observing in businesses and everything around you, what do you feel is the power of video in marketing at the moment?
Well, this is one of those funny things, because I have been taking quite a lot of photographs on my phone. So I take photographs on my phone and I think, right, I'm going to have to now upload that. So I'm at the moment I'm using OneDrive, because it's just easy to load it up from the phone. And I discovered that I don't actually scroll down and read where is OneDrive. I look for the icon. So I've gotten so lazy now that if there's an icon or something like that, that's the first thing that my brain will look for. And I find, and this is something that has actually been studied, and we've got it at Curtin University as well. We used to have 1.5 hour lectures that you would either attend or you could watch it online. Now they're giving it to you in small, sizable chunks, because people have their attention span has sort of like changed. And so people are more willing to engage with video. If I see something when I'm on social media, which isn't very often, but when I am, and I see something which has got a video, I'll click on that. And then when, like for instance, when I am preparing for various things, my professional development, quite often I'll have it going in my car and I'll be listening to it. But I prefer video, because I feel like I can absorb more. And also you can have a bit more fun with video, because I can tell you a joke. If I write it down, then you're going to say, that's pretty lame. But if I deliver it well,
Yeah.
facial expressions and, you know, maybe some actions and, you know, faces to go with it, then that'll make it a funny joke.
1,000,000%. And look, it's funny that you say, and I know you're not always on social media, and it's funny you should say that when you are, you go on a video. Part of that is also because of how the algorithm is working. So Instagram now is owned by Facebook, as is WhatsApp. And Instagram have already come out and said that people want to be entertained, and they, as the algorithm, will give more attention to videos than they will to text or images.
That makes a lot of sense.
The fact that you're seeing it just kind of proves the point that you're not on often. So when you are, they're going to say video, video, video. Let's entertain you to keep you here, to keep you on the call.
Yeah. Yeah,
because that's exactly what it is. And all the studies that we're doing and the research that we've done around video, hence is the reason that we're helping people with video. And for businesses in particular, those 30 to 90 second videos that make your business stand out and showcase, you know, the problem that you solve. So it's not just going, ta-ta, I'm Carmel, I can do this. It's more about talking to a specific problem that those people have or answering a question. And when you can do that via video, you're building, there's so many things going on. You're building that know, like, and trustability.
Yep.
They're getting to see you, like, you know, you and I have a bit of a laugh maybe about gray hair, or we're talking about this. I have a funny accent, and but those facial, you can tell, even though it's through a screen, whether somebody is being authentic or real, or if there's somebody you want to connect with. Like, it's just limitless as far as I can see. And for marketing specifically, which my belief is marketing is everything you do before a sale. It's not just doing a marketing campaign, it's everything you do before a sale.
I go as far as my belief.
My belief is marketing is everything you do before a sale. So it's not just your marketing campaign, it's every relationship. Like you said, you're in a networking group, which I used to be in, by the way. I used to actually be a circle leader.
Oh, wow.
In that same group. Yeah. So, but all of those relationship building, everything, that's all marketing. You as the person are marketing your brand, your business, just by there. You're losing me, I'm not losing you. That's okay. So I'm just aware of the time, my darling. Look at us, we could talk for hours. There is there is one question that I always like to ask my guests closer to the end. And that is, if you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what would you be doing instead?
What would I be doing? I think that a big part of me wants to be a farmer. So I would have a hobby.
Come to my house. Come to my house.
I have been to your house. It's amazing. I would be growing vegetables. I had alpacas for a while. I had a herd of 3. So yeah, I would be doing farming. Something where I'd be outdoors, where I'd be moving around, where I'd be using my muscles, the puny ones that I have. I really feel the teaching. If I didn't have a farm, then I'd be doing the teaching, because that's something that there's something about having some blank face students coming in, filing in, going, okay, she's going to teach me about, you know, computerized packages or internal controls. And then within 2 or 3 days, actually engaging them and being interested. And all of a sudden they're asking you questions. And so that's just amazing for me. So
awesome. Mellida, I want to say a huge thank you to you for being here and allow me to pick your brain and ask you lots of questions. And make sure that, as I said, that you put in the comments your contact details so people can contact you. Is it best to contact you through Facebook, LinkedIn, or what's the best way to contact you?
The best way, until I get myself a little bit better organized with my VA, is by email.
Yeah, okay, we'll pop your email in the comments. So guys, if you're watching this, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, we'll make sure that we put the same contact details anywhere. if you would like to connect with Mellida, and we didn't even scratch the surface, we'll have to do a whole other one, because I know she does speaker training and everything as well. She has so many things that she is well capable of doing. If you want to connect with her, you want to keep in contact with her, make sure that you click on the link that we're going to put in the comments. But for now, it's bye from me.
Thank you. Bye.